but the words were prophetic. We know well that we are in the decisive moment of our country's history, says this man. We have been fighting for the past 7 years, and now this is the end of our fight. Others, while welcoming the departure, are more concerned with just existing for another day. If it's true, it's good, says this woman. Someone else should be in charge. We have no food here. We are suffering. It's a sentiment echoed by many who say newly issued currency that bears...
Of what I've been saying ever since this process started, that it is not an event that can be achieved overnight. It is a process. What is important is that the process is on.
Rebel forces are now poised to occupy the capital should they wish to do so. Western sources say the vanguard is at the Nzeli River, and the immediate efforts of mediators is aimed at ensuring a peaceful entry to Kinshasa. This entails dealing with both the rebels and the Zairean government forces. And in a Kinshasa suburb, preparations are being made for the rebels' arrival. We are told that those making welcoming banners here belong to one of more than 50 civil defense committees scattered around the city. And they are optimistic that with Mobutu's departure,
to be fortunate.
the handover of
gold, diamonds, oil, and coffee, and a wealth of other resources besides. Zaire sits like an open treasure chest in the center of Africa. Its misfortune, by all accounts, is that President Mobutu Sese Seko has spent the last 32 years emptying the chest and collecting rich contributions from other countries as well. Investigations by the Financial Times of London, by the Washington Post, government and independent researchers suggest the president to having enormous accounts in Europe, though by his estimate they contained just a modest $50 million. What is that, he asked rhetorically, after years as head of state of such a big country? What it was an understatement. According to one study, Mr. Mobutu collected at least $150 million a year from copper and cobalt exports, but perhaps more than twice that much every year all through the 80s. Another study, conducted for the World Bank, estimated that 18% of the government's official annual budget was earmarked for his personal use. Mr. Mobutu was even paid some and stole more from the CIA, which had helped put him and keep him in power. According to a former station chief, during the Angolan Civil War, Mr. Mobutu was Washington's conduit for cash and weapons to UNITA rebels, and he took a lot of that money too. All along, the World Bank of Swiss and Luxembourg bankers. The Swiss government has ordered a nationwide search for Mr. Mobutu's accounts, accompanied by what amounts to a freeze, and the Rebel Alliance is asking other countries to do the same.
In the States, in Switzerland, in Austria, in Belgium, and so on. And we expect in France, especially in France, because we heard that France would like to give impunity to Mobutu.
In whatever country, the rebels believe the billions are well hidden, but largely intact. Other experts are not so sure. The scale of corruption in the Mobutu government was so obvious and enormous that even the World Bank has not made any new loans in recent years. Peacetime mismanagement of the economy and, over the last months, the spreading war have slashed the exports and investment that could be skimmed or stolen. And prices for Zaire's major commodities have tumbled. The Washington Post reports that the president